My back. Good morning. Interesting. Okay. Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy May 1st. Howdy. I am organizing my table again because that's what I do every day, apparently. I don't like to clean up my mess after I'm done. I clean it up first thing in the morning when I'm about to start. It's May, you guys. It's May. I promise you, it feels like we just went through the holidays. This year's already like flying by. There's like 6 months until till Halloween. It's like the halfway mark. Um, this month is going to be also the month where like a lot of people will start having the subscribers. If you want to get your Christmas boxes in, like I said, I know Jenny from Missouri Star already has theirs out for pre-order, and I'm contemplating it because there's a quilter. Her name is Raven, and every time she does a box opening, I want to do it. Except the only reason why I'm reluctant is although I quilt very infrequently, like maybe once a year if I'm lucky, or twice. And I feel like it's geared more towards quilters versus having boxes like Sew Yours, um, Sally Tomatoes, which I'm definitely gonna do. Sally Tomatoes are geared to bag making. And like there are other boxes that can compare to Missouri Star, like the one I get, the one that I get from Stitch Supply Co. that I buy. Um, they're geared for everything, but everything in that box I like. There was not one thing in that box that I didn't like. So I'm hands down getting that one. I'm definitely getting an definitely ordering a Sally Tomato one because I loved theirs last year. The colors, everything was so beautiful. And I think I like it because it's geared to bag making. That's generally what I do. So getting hardware and whatnot is not that bad. It's perfect. So yours, I kind of like the box, but I kind of didn't. I felt like it was if though I put all this hardware I needed in the cart and I bought it versus coming up with some new stuff like templates or um, a new kind of hardware that we haven't seen that it was exclusively to the bag. And she's a bag maker, so and a designer, so even a bag that design a pouch or a bag or something that is exclusively to that box would give it like a $10 to $12 value over. Um, Sally Tomatoes is case in point. They usually have 2 to 3 patterns within the 24 days or the 25 days for the winter box, so it gives the box a little bit more value in having something exclusively. Like the Bella wallet wasn't sent out for anybody else until February or March, so something like that always is nice. So I'm curious. I want to give So Yours another chance because again, she is a talented designer and a talented bag maker. So I'm hoping that she got feedback from her first box and she's able to do something better together. Throw something better together. I know there's whispers of different hardware groups having it. I secretly want Alchemats and from Olivia to do it, but I know she has so much on her plate. Her business is always booming and she's very customers. She's like 100% customer service. But I really hope that some of these like fandom groups crate boxes too, because I love the 12 day, the 13 days Nightmare Before Christmas one. Love it. So I'm about to use the grommets, not the grommets, the Chicago screws with Jack's face that were in the box, um, this week on a bag, a Nightmare Before Christmas bag. Good morning. So today my main focus is just to do a test for Toby Styles. I think the bag is going to come together relatively quickly. I'm going to do that, take a couple pictures, and then cut out another one because I will be filming a tutorial for it tomorrow. I always like to make the bag before I make a tutorial, because if there's an area that I'm super confused about, I want to be able to explain it to you because you might be confused on it. Or just if there's someone new, I can say, this is the most tricky part, this is the most difficult part. The rest, like, because sometimes people look at a bag and they look at the construction and they think the whole bag is impossible, and it's not. My point with that is like the inclusive hitchhiker bag. It looks like it's more difficult than what it really is. What it is something that we haven't seen, is a perfect rectangular shape that looks like a suitcase. So it throws us off. I even get like freaked out every now and then. But when you put it together, you're going to be like, that's it. there's some bags that look more intimidating than what they actually are. So yeah. And Toby has a tendency of trying to give us like that Salvatore Ferragamo, that Louis Vuitton, that Birkin, that Hermes, any Hermes bags. That's what she tries to give to us as bag makers. So I feel like a lot of people get intimidated by it, but she gives really good instructions, and then she has a couple people doing videos. So definitely give her a try. Like she really is one of those designers that she can take a Hermes bag and start putting it together and create a pattern herself. She's very talented. And Jacqueline, her bag that she's coming out, like she came out of the ballpark hard. It's been like a couple of months since she's made a pattern, and she was like, guess what, we're gonna knock it out of the park first thing first. I'm really excited on this one. I'm just trying. My hardest part of testing bags is picking fabric. I will tell you, there has been so many times that it took me longer to pick the fabric than to make the bag. I will sit there and dwell on and take pictures. Like, I'll give you an example. This is seriously what I do. I take pictures of different prints and fabrics together, so that way I can see what I like. Like yesterday. So I have a faux cork here, actual cork, and another cork. And this is the body of the bag, but I was trying to figure out what color. So then I take individual shots with each one to figure out which one I'm going to go. Good morning. This is what I do. And I'll sit here and look at the fabric, look at the picture, look at the fabric, look at the picture. It takes me forever to pick out fabrics. And the more I have, it's like Biggie says, more money, more problems. It is more fabric, more problems, and trying to figure out the combinations that I think is going to work. Sarah Lawson said something when I got into bag making that has stuck with me since, God, this journey of 6 to 7 years, that you can make the most stunning bag in the world, have no errors. But if the fabric and the colors are not right, nobody's going to notice it. So it's been something on me. I take forever to pick out something. So like the color coordination I went with, I decided to go with green with it because there's greens in the rebel symbols. And yeah, the fabric is the hardest part. If somebody was like, can you teach me tricks on fabric? I will be like, when you find that teacher, please enroll me in that class. It takes forever. It takes me forever and a day. I'm trying to put together my Wanda cosplay for next month's AwesomeCon, and I just cannot find the right shades of burgundy and deep reds that I like. It is taking me forever. I have color swatches all over my room. It just in cartoon Eeyores that are, yeah, I didn't know you could see that. So when Shnova was in high school, when little Nova was a person, I thought I was an emo, and I was like really dark, jet black hair, wearing all black eyeliner, and I used to draw all cartoon characters in like a scary sense of a way. So when my kids had coloring books, I would always take characters and then like turn and color them and do things to them that are different. I like to doodle a lot. I doodle all the time. It's just, I don't know. I think it's part of my ADHD. I have to do something, so I doodle. So that is my Goth, and he ate Piglet. So now you know a little bit more about me. Yeah, I kept it because it was a really good drawing. I have weird paintings and artwork throughout this whole entire room. I will be doing a room tour shortly. I just want to get that shelf in the back for the interfacing, and then Kendall still hasn't put up the shelves. So if he's watching this, he still haven't put the shelves up for my rivets. I don't want them on my cutting table, because what happens is when I'm moving things around, they go flying. So I need a shelf for my rivet table and some shelves for some wands. Good morning. Ooh, Hollowbags, I seen your nameplates yesterday, and I was like, ooh, those look so good. They look very Tim Burton-ish. Very Tim Burton. I'm like, that's hot. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. Testing today. And then if I could finish this bag before 2 o'clock, then I think I'm going to make a Catalina, or no, actually I'm going to update my modification. So last month, for the month of April, me and the Patreon team modified the net. And so our modified, we did a recessed zipper. We did a zipper pocket, of course, a sunglass loop, so you can put your sunglasses or eyeglasses, whatever. And then we did a double slip pocket right here. And then so for the front, we wanted to give it that Michael Kors look. We did grommets here, and then you can either do chains or loops. I'm actually thinking about putting an extra one of these, like in white or purple, so it could be contrast even more. And then, oh, there are hidden strap connectors, so you can wear a crossbody. So we did that. I need to press this because this is cotton, and then take some pictures of it. I'm just debating if I want to put an extra set of straps or just leave it the way it is. I really like how these came out. My first bag was like chains, and it's amazing. It's amazing. But I wanted to do a budget friendly, because the thing is, chains are inexpensive, but the tools you need to use to open and close the chains can cost a little extra money. Like vice grips are not, like, good vice grips, you can get them up $7 and up, but like if you don't plan on putting a lot of change on the bag, it might not be lucrative to have this if you don't already have these tools in your your toolbox. So I wanted an alternate option, so we made cork straps that go into this. It's super cute though. Like, seriously, I feel like Michael Kors may have took Alicia's style and did the same thing. I don't know. I'm really feeling like Michael Kors. I'm actually trying to make this. I have like food all over my shirt. I just put it on today. It was clean. Yeah, they're very whimsical. Yeah, I love these straps. I love these straps, and we had fun doing it, and that's why you guys are going to get a video on Friday about the drop length thing. They had it so they can pick out the perfect straps for them lengthwise. But yeah, I really like how these turned out. I think this is like the cutest thing. I want to add a white strap to go inside, right side by side, to make it even have more circle or more loops. I was inspired by the Michael Kors vacation bag, as well as, weirdly, you got to pay attention to it, Luna from Ora Rosa. I use her strap technique on a Magdalena, and she does a lot of these things where there are loops upon loops, like kind of putting together. So I was inspired a little bit by Alexis from the owner of Ora Rosa, and I was inspired by the Michael Kors bag, and it kind of came together. At first I was solely inspired by Michael Kors because of the chains. But then I kept thinking, if everyone doesn't have the means to do to get chains and then the tools to separate them and put them back together, what could I do? And that's when Alexis popped in my head, and her Luna bag. Her Luna bag has the straps on the Luna are freaking chef kiss. No one has ever done straps like that one. And I'm always excited when Alexis comes out with a pattern because she is a pioneer in the thing. Like there's certain people, all bag designers are amazing to me because you guys have a brain that can take puzzle pieces and make it into something. And I get excited because you got it's like watching someone draw like Picasso do art, and it makes me happy. But when I remember when Alexis did the Luna, I literally jumped out of my seat when I seen the directions to it because I've never seen strapping like that before. We're like straps holding on straps, buckles. And I'm like, this is kind of badass. And I used it on the Magdalena. That hands down my favorite bag ever because I've never seen a bag that looked like that with straps. So it came to me again where, hey, let me use her similar strapping techniques, except she doesn't do rivet in place. They're like buckles and stuff. And they're like covered with these really cool conceal like tube things. But yeah, I thought grommets and that would work out for that. Just it's weird how your brain goes and starts modifying based off of the information that you have. Good morning. Yeah, like you like I don't know. That's why I love designers. I'm just like you guys are super creative. But yes, fabric is my Achilles. Like I swear. Like I've been looking for faux leather and Kona cotton for my WandaVision thing for like 4 weeks now, and nothing's the right color. And if you guys ever cosplay, then you understand because in at the con world, colors are really important, like in how you represent your thing. Like colors are very important. So I mean, I got the fireball, I got the book, I got a really cool LED head thing that changes and makes its own lightning. Yeah, I'm extra like that. So I'm Wanda for that. But I need to work on hopes. Faith has her notorious Floral Wars like petticoat dress that ties up. So she's good. I just got to make something for my youngest daughter. Okay, look, if you have the Luna, just go look at the cover and you'll see the straps, and then you can kind of see it's mine's is not exactly like hers, but by her being really creative with straps made me think of an alternate way to put in um for the grommets instead of chains. And honestly, I love the chain look because I think it's cool, but again, it adds weight. I cannot speak to this more than anyone. There's a lot of people that have neck, shoulder, back pain, and if you're making them a bag, weight is it's a thing. Like this, the bag that I carry, just this weighs nothing. It doesn't even weigh 1 pound because this is cork and this is cotton and it's foam in the inside. So this weighs nothing. But if you were to add the chains, it could add literally a pound, and that could be too much on someone's shoulder. At Decaville Light is like that. This is everyone's like, Shanova, you hate Decaville Light. No, no, no. I just think there's a time and place for it. The reason why I like foam is you just squish your bag and it bounces back. You do that with Decaville Light, we can have creases and whatever. So that's one reason why I like it. There's a reason why if you look at older patterns from like Swoon, it's always Decaville, it's always foam or Thermolam because the recovery and the buoyancy of the fabric allows you this bag to get smushed and it'll retain its shape. Um, then also hardware. This does have D-rings and it has the grommets, but because I use cork and cork is lighter than vinyl, this bag weighs hardly anything. And so it would be easier for someone to carry it around as a crossbody or a shoulder bag without any reservations because it's not heavy. So I started paying attention to that with the park sling. I get a lot of people asking me, especially a lot of men asking me to make them the park sling from So Sweetness. That's a really good seller for me in large. And they would ask me to put it for like my number one selling one is the Bucky one where I have like his star and the back of the sling. It looks like his arm. It's like this metal mesh. But when I use Decaville Light, I like the way it looks because it looks like it's leather, but it is so much heavier than the one in foam. It is literally triple the weight of the one in foam. And this one guy was like, "Yeah, can you make me another one but with a different material? It's so heavy." And that's when I realized, yeah, Decaville Light's not light at all. No, okay, so the construction part one is done. We still have no electricity on the main level. So I'm in the basement, main level's above, and the bedrooms are above there. Something would happen. We called BG&E out, and I'm waiting for the electrician to get in contact with us so we can get our electricity back on. Weirdly enough, for the whole level to be blacked out, like the TVs, the lights, and everything are not working, the fridge in the kitchen area works fine. So the reason why I'm not like stressed out, let me knock on some wood. The reason why I'm not stressed about that is because the simple fact that we have our fridge is not going to, food in our fridge are not going to go bad. So we have no idea what happened. There was a lot of rain. If you were in the Delmarva, Delaware, DC, Virginia, and Maryland area, we had some serious rain like on Thursday and Friday. And it went into our meter reader box and trickled down to our breaker box. And we have a fan in there right now, and the door is open because this over here is where our breaker box is. It's in a separate closet. So now we're waiting for that. Part two of our fixing our house is we're getting new windows. We've been in this house. We own this house for 8 years now. Our windows have never been good. Like you could feel visibly like air coming out of it sometimes, especially in the downstairs. I think we're scheduling that for this month or the beginning of next month. So that should be interesting because I'm hoping it's this month because it won't be as hot as June, of course. And then once that's done, then we have like little things that we need to repair, but those are the major things that we need to get done. So every year we try to put focus on something that the house needs to not only upgrade it, but to make, our lives even more cooler. So I feel really fortunate and blessed that I was able to do the things that I was able to do. And it's still like, I'm still freaking out about the backyard. The backyard is really gorgeous. I want to go get some plants for the front yard for me and Hope's Dark Garden. So eventually I need to look at some nurseries in my area to see what plants I can plant for summer, fall, spring, and whatnot, so that there's always something growing in the front garden. They almost cut down my butterfly bush. So Kendall last year for Mother's Day bought me a butterfly bush, or was it 2 years ago? And it gets bigger and bigger. We had no idea how big a butterfly bush gets, but it's like my favorite thing ever. It is so pretty when it's in full bloom. Like it is the most phenomenal thing you've ever seen. Kendall almost freaked out. He was like, "Don't cut down my wife's bush." That was my Mother's Day gift. It was like, it's the best gift. Because when you drink coffee, you just see all these hummingbirds, butterflies, bees, like all like migrate to this tree, and it's so bright and so full of life. I use by Annie foam. The reason why I use her foam is formulated to, the more you sew on it, like you could zigzag stitch again. Swoon patterns, literally, if you're a beginner in bag making, get every swoon pattern. I am not joking with you. Or if they have a collection, because I'll give you an example. The Brooklyn shows you how you zigzag stitch all around all the foam pieces, so that way if it gets into your seam allowance, it looks like it's not. Because by Annie's foam is formulated to compress the more you sew on it, but it has a buoyancy where if you press on your bag, like you see me squish my bag, it just bounces back. You cannot do that with Decaville Light. So that's why I like it. So if you can't get by Annie, my secret place that I love getting foam is Cellrite, and it comes in pink. Cellrite has really nice foam. It doesn't have that nice smooth netting, so I've never sewn with it on my domestic because it doesn't have the same netting mesh that by Annie has. But it gives, whenever you see a bag from me that has a lot of quilting detail and it's really puffy, chances are I'm using Cellrite's pink interfacing foam. And the other one I like is Legacy foam, and are foam. Legacy's more on the expensive side. I get that once in a blue moon whenever like the sewing machine store has it on sale because it's expensive. But when you once you sew with it, you like, oh yeah, I understand why. It's expensive. I usually sew with that if I'm making a family Faranda bag and I want them to have the creme de la creme of everything in the bag. But Legacy, and I think Legacy is like overseas. So I whenever I order from someone that's in the UK, I generally order their foam. I like to order interfacing from all over. Like you'll be surprised. I'll do an interface a re-update of interfacing. So because when you see my wall, you're gonna be like, Shinova, what the heck? You have so much stuff. And because it's more I use more than the standard Shape Flex or the foam or Decaville Light. I'm the person that uses Craft Tex, Buckram, like things that you typically won't see people use. I use a lot of tailoring stuff for like card slots and everything. Um, I like I said, I believe your inside of your bag is just as important than your outside, just like we are as people. So I try to like do things that are a little bit unique and unusual because I myself am unique and unusual. So, yeah, I tell everybody to get Swoon, and I know they're like, "Oh, Shinova, it's because you're a mod over there." No, no, no. Prior to being a mod, I have almost every Swoon pattern because Alicia has some of like if you put all her patterns in a folder and study it, it's your syllabus. It is your guide to making bags. Like her patterns have all the like the key mark patterns from like vanity cases to bowler bags to like she has like all the vintage collection and all the whatever. But in her beginning, her patterns don't are not very lengthy, but it explains a lot like about foam and what she uses. And she uses a lot of Thermolam, and everyone always laughs at me, but I use Thermolam like all the time. I'm making a pouch for I can't show you the other side. I'm making a pouch for So Magical Florida, and this is Thermolam, so it bounces back, and it's fused on here, and look, no ripples. So Thermolam and then water resistant canvas. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the older interfacings because they're try and true. I do love Decaville Light and Decaville Heavy. I just feel like they're not for every single bag. I feel like if it's for a super structure bag, yes, because it's going to be able to do things that foam can't do. But I do believe that a lot of people, the reason why they go back to foam um, is because it's cheaper than Decaville Light. Two, it retains its shape and like it can get squished. Like you could stack, like if you're doing convention, you're stacking these on top of each other. Um, it just makes it a little bit easier. They pop right back up. Yeah, I make a lot of structure bags. Like my hitchhiker bags are generally foam, and then I'll use like Craft Tex in certain spots, but I don't use Decaville Heavy or Decaville Light in the hitchhiker bag at all. And I feel like that is the most structure bag you could possibly get. Um, no, I don't. I'm trying to think. I do use Bontex, which is like a bottom of the bag that they use in leather on the bottom of my hitchhiker bag. And I'm trying to think of other bags that I make that are super structured. There's a couple. I like superstructure bags. But I think there's a time and a place for everything. I do use Decaville Light and Decaville Heavy enough because I go through like two massive rolls, not like the ones on the little folding ones, like two rolls at least a year. I just don't use it as much as everyone probably thinks I do. I go through the ginormous I go through at least 3 to 4 of the ginormous rolls, the 15 yard rolls that are like by 50 of by Annie a year at least. That's just from yeah, and that's doing it mildly. I use a lot of foam, like a lot. And then I've been really, for the past 2 years, I've been using a lot of Thermolam because it does give its back structure. Again, this is just vinyl and Thermolam, and it you can squish it, and you can't do this with Decaville Light. And look, and it comes back. I don't know. I'm a sucker for some old school things. And when I'm making cards, I learn things. I like, if you have the zip around wallet from Maggie 55, you learn about different interfacings. And when she said Craftex, I almost jumped out of my skin because I've been using Craftex for like 6 years, and I keep telling everybody like it is lightweight but gives you structure, and I think it is the perfect hand and fill on wallets. So whenever I go, I'm a filler groper. Whenever I go to like to Walmart, Target, if I go to Macy's, I go to Nordstrom's, I'm a filler groper. I'm sitting here filling up wallets to see which one I like. And I think Craftex is the closest I see for zip around wallets that you can use to fill like a Michael Kors wallet. Yeah, I grope wallets and I grope them good. Good morning. I feel well, like okay, so Thermalime is like a high loft fleece. There's a high loft and a low loft. Low loft is compressed more, so it's thinner. A high loft is exactly what it's mean. It's a higher, so it's a little bit thicker. If you let I for me, my when I did this bag, I interfaced the Thermalam, and it's like out of the seam allowance. It's about a half an inch out of the seam allowance, and I let it stay on the concrete floor. Yep. For overnight, and when I put it together, I don't know, it stands up, and I could squish it and I could put it in eggs, and we're not allowing the glue to actually cure. Like if you look at some contact cement, they tell you in some areas to leave it alone for hours, hours, but they don't. And for Decaville Light, they say 30 minutes. I literally leave it overnight somewhere, and then I never have as many as issues. It also depends on if everything got adhered. That's why I think a lot of people love the press, because you're getting even distribution of heat, so you're ensuring that every glue spot is melting, versus that you may, when you do it by iron, there might be a spot that doesn't get it. And most of the time I do mine by iron. I only put the heat press on during the winter because I'm cold. I'm gonna keep it real. It's cold. There's no carpet down here. Okay. If it's like 32 degrees outside, it's cold in here. And so I have my heater on, and then I'll start interfacing stuff with the heat press. Yeah. Hey Teresa. Yeah. I liked I my favorite I love going to the mall to fill wallets. Like I know the people at Fossil think I'm weird probably because I'm in there like, yeah, let me fill those card slots. Like, it's I just like that. I like to feel that same. I want the same interfacing, and I know you could do something as go to a Goodwill store and get like wallets from or bags from Junie and Burke or Fossil, and then take them apart. I like to watch. There's actually a person that I don't think I'm subscribed to him, but somehow some way he's in my short feed. He's always in my shorts feed, and he takes apart bags to tell you the real value of them. I don't understand. And every time I want to find him, I can't. He comes up when I'm like not thinking about him, and all of a sudden he's in my feeds on my YouTube channel. He deconstructs stuff. Like I love when he takes apart like Louis Vuitton stuff. I'm like, I knew it wasn't worth what it was. I knew it. And then he tells you what kind of interfacing or stabilizers that they use in it. And he's a good person. If I ever find him again, I'll put the link somewhere. I get like if you fall like on YouTube is really weird. So um they recommend people to you based off of what you watch. So on my YouTube channel, like when me personally, I watch like true crime, different podcasts that I don't want to listen on Amazon, so I listen to it on YouTube, and then bags. So like this is what I get in my oh yeah, and something French. I watched like a couple two comedians, and because I watch these, what I get in my short feed are either comedians, in my short feed, or true crime stories told in like 60 seconds, or 2 60-second videos, and then leather people. So I'll sit there and watch leather workers because we use a lot of the similar supplies as they do. And I love watching their techniques. And there's this guy, he takes apart expensive bags and tells you what, like, the interfacing and what the value really is once he takes it apart. So I find that always interesting. Yes, shipping is hard. Not I'm the worst person actually with that. If I know Monica and me are going to be doing a video live together shortly, probably this week, making the Catalina. I would definitely ask her this question. She's better at shipping than me because I do all my shipping through Etsy, or when I do it through PayPal, I use all priority mailboxes. So I use the large with the structure one, and I use recycled because we get Amazon stuff. So I keep those little bubble things. I stick all the bubble polythenes inside the bag, and then we put brown paper around it and put like it in a plastic bag so it doesn't get wet, of course, but it keeps its shape while I'm shipping it. I've shipped a couple, not a couple, like I don't like 40 hitchhiker bag is a big bag maker for me because I guess I have modified that bag so much that I don't know what the original pattern looks like. I even my measurements are completely off. Like the finished product is so different from the other one. I get a lot of hitchhiker bags because I get a lot of people that like me making, they like my steampunk bags, and that is, or super structure bag, and it could fit in a large. There's two different larges. There's a long large, and then there's a wide large, and I could fit it in there with all the. I fill it up. I fill it up with all the recyclable stuff that I repurpose from Amazon. Like Kindle has like a box of stuff that every time we get Amazon, my kids even do it. They're like, "Here, Dad, here's the poly mailers. Here, Dad, here's recycle, repurpose, and reuse." And I ship it through. I ship everything out. And I'm also that person that believes in doing insurance. I'll pay for the insurance. And I've only had one package go lost. It did get recovered, and I had like the cool. This guy bought Captain America Celine from me, and for his wife for Christmas, and so I mailed it out. He was in Pennsylvania too. I mailed it out on the 15th to give it like at least 10 days to get there because I know it was hard. It was during COVID. It didn't get there on Christmas. So he instead, I told him, here's the picture. He took the picture, he put it inside a box, and that's what he gave for Christmas. So they're waiting. It wasn't there at the end of December. So I'm now filing a claim. And because I swear, I think it's because I did insurance. The UPS got a hold of me and was like, well, how much does it really cost? I'm like, exactly what I put insurance on it for. um, so miraculously, right before they were about to approve the claim, it popped out of nowhere. And I made them a second one anyways. So that way I could set, I didn't want my customer to be sad. So I sent one out. The other one came to them. They kept one and they mailed me back another and gave me a glowing review. That was only the one time. And I sent out a lot of bags, but every single bag I I try to put insurance on it. Better safe than sorry, because at least you're going to get paid back. You're going to get paid back what you that bag is worth, and then you can get all those supplies and everything that you need to redo it again. Um, but I sent out a lot of structured bags, mostly the hitchhiker. One that I don't like any smush is the Erica, even though it's kind of soft, the sides aren't. So I sent out the Erica Bowler bag a lot, and that's a big bag. Um, I think I sent out mostly Oro Rosa does really well for me, and people love, love, love the Country Cow, the low end. I have sent so many of those out, and that is, you cannot squish that one. Like it's has like a round dome shape. You can, if you squish it, that bag will be super messed up. The low end is really super structured. I don't have one available. I'm actually going to be making one for a strike. Every time I have a hitchhiker, I sell it. Like I don't have it's just, and then I have the original pattern and I have it in my file somewhere, But because there was a person that ordered a custom one for me and she wanted it certain dimensions, and the dimensions are completely opposite and off from the original, I usually now use that same dimensions because I like the way it looks better. Um, yeah, I don't have any. I was trying to look over at my fabric wall and I'm like, I don't have any. I'm actually going to be making another one maybe this weekend for a stripe that I'm gonna do. It's a Harry Potter stripe, so I'm making another train case, and I'm really excited because I actually have a different modification for this that I want to try out. So that one's going to be all cork with leather strapping. There you go. Teresa's on it. Look at this person, Tanner Leatherstein. He is amazing. I'm not subscribed to him for whatever the reason may be. I will now. When I get off here, I'll subscribe to him. But whenever he comes onto my feed, I always watch his videos because he like takes apart bags, and it's amazing to me because it's kind of what I like. I love interfacing because I think the structure of the bag can make or break your bag. So yeah, I love watching leather bag makers. Georgia Girl Stitch has a YouTube channel now, and her and her husband both sew leather. It's total chef kiss, and it's cute because I like husband and wife teams, or just partner and partner teams. I know he says on also that yeah, this probably costs like $30. I'm like, damn, that bag costs like $1,200. Insurance is a must. That's if you're gonna have it, if you're gonna sell bags, do insurance. It will save you. It will save you. And I also secretly, I know this sounds weird. I secretly think if you have insurance, your package won't ever get lost. I don't know. I send out anywhere from 100 to 200 packages by mail. I do most of my selling in person, but at least at the very minimum, I sell like at least 200 packages. And I've never, that was only the first time, and it was like the start. It was like the start of the pandemic. Like when we found out in March 2020, it was December 2020. And so it was a given that mail was running slow. That was the only time. And I honestly believe if you have insurance, your package just won't. Maybe it's just me, but that's the cycle. Oh yeah, and if you do it through Etsy, I know people hate Etsy, but this is what I love about Etsy. There's some things, there are some perks to Etsy. I can put insurance. I pay for the insurance, it gets there. They do a price adjustment because it didn't get lost, and then I'll get refunded. The pattern's gone, Terry. Unfortunately, the person, we don't know what transpired. I do know she was an emergency. She was an EMT. That's the most I got. So I'm hoping everything's okay. She walked away. She closed down her website and whatever. So no, the pattern's no longer available. But that doesn't mean that in the future that she won't come back. And the thing is that hopefully she does come back because she had a really cool pirate chest that I want to make so bad. And I know only one person who tested it. I'm not going to say her name because I don't want people to bombard her asking her for the pattern. Um, that tested it, and she did a phenomenal job. And I wish that I had that. I got my hands on that pattern, but it wasn't out yet. So there's nothing I can do. I wish that I had it, but I don't have it. And hopefully somebody else will come up with something just as creative. There's so many bag makers out there and designers. You never know what the next person's going to design. So unfortunately she's not here. And so her pattern's not being sold anywhere at this time. Yeah, she closed down a while ago. And I'm just hoping that she's okay because again, the pandemic and she's an EMT. I don't know. My mind automatically went dark because like EMTs, they put their life on the line for us, right? They do so much to take care of us when we're in an emergency situation. So I'm just hoping everything's okay. And if everything's okay, then that's good. Maybe she just doesn't want to do this part of Facebook anymore or part of the business. That's her prerogative. No, I haven't. I want to. I need to carve out time where I'm able just to make bags that like this weekend was super weird. it's been a long time where I just got to make bags that I want. Because normally I'm making either something for a strike or it's an order, or I'm prepping for a convention and I'm basing my bags and I'm making off the statistics that I did. I do statistics like the last 3 AwesomeCon was the number one bag I made, the people request and whatever. So I go off of that. So it's fun. I do want to make a trunk. I do only trunks I've ever made is the HP Harry Potter suitcase, and it's kind of roughly based off of the Hitchhiker. I just changed the dimensions. So yeah, that's the only one. I don't know. I know there was. I want to say sincerely, Jin has a bag that kind of looks like a trunk. I want it. I don't know if it's the Tribbiani, but I'm her. She has a bag that I feel like can be converted to a trunk. Oh, thanks. It's so hard because between doing orders or trying to do videos, like I want to do my my edge paint from Mojo Sews is coming out today, so tomorrow I'll show it to you. But I want to do a video, another one to show you how people you can mix colors to do stuff. Like I'll give you an example. This is edge coat. This is white, but the color I mixed in here are from different colors. I put a lid on it to keep it where I could reuse it the next day. But like I mix this. This wasn't a color out of anything. And I think I got pretty dang close. So I wanted to show that because sometimes we have things. And yes, these are like the little craft bins that you get at Michael's for 50 cents. Okay. Um, Notice that it's not glass. It would shatter in my room. I have broke so much glass. It's not even funny. So I wanted to show how you can mix colors and try to get something as close as possible to a color. So it can work. I'm about to put a second coat on it. I actually have my Dremel here to sand it down and put another coat when I'm off. So yeah, I wanted to show mixing because I haven't seen a lot of videos on that. And generally, like 99% of the time, I'm mixing a color. You have your primary colors, but every red is not going to be the same color red as your edge paint. So you might need to add some orange or black or a little bit of blue to get it to the color that you desire. So I plan on having some things, mixing things, and show you how you can use some pearlized colors. That a pearl color comes out like a milky cream, but it dries like clear, kind of like an iridescent color though, like a shimmer, and how you could put it into your regular paint, your edge paint, to give it a pearlized or iridescent sheen to it. Yeah, edge painting is a whole entire art. It's a skill set that I think everyone should have, especially if you're bag making. I know a lot of people are reluctant. I was reluctant too, but once you start dabbling in and you find your niche and you fumble, you're gonna make mistakes. That's inevitable. I make mistakes like all the time, but then you start realizing how much it could give your bag that extra oomph. Like if you have rolled handles instead of having raw edges, having a nice edge coat can make your bag look kind of like upgraded. Like it's just a very upgraded things. Like it makes your bag look really, really good. And it takes time. I'm still learning on it. I'm really good at mixing paint colors. I don't know why. I have no idea why. And it's like there's no math to it. You can't be like, oh, 2 drops of blue in this red. It doesn't work that way for me. It's like, let me pour 2 splashes. It's not drops. It's not drops. So, and then figuring out what tools you use. Like I use a tool that someone has already said this. Okay, so you don't have to say it. I use this tool, and this tool is actually used to sharpen the inside of your rotary, your rotary punch. It's just you sharpen it up. It's this tool. Had no idea that first you can sharpen these. So I learned something there. But I like this tool because it has it's like a sandpaper, but it's metal, like a file kind of, but there's texture. And for whatever the reason may be, I can put edge paint on my thing smooth, no bubbling, no nothing, and it comes out smooth. Had no idea it was a sharpener. You learn different things. Like I can never use the roller thing. I do have this ginormous roller that I want to use, but I never use that much paint. So I haven't used it yet because I feel like I need it for like a job that I'm using a lot of edge coat. Most of the time I stick my mixed paint in like little then just wash it out with soap and water. And if I really like it, then I'll put saran wrap and then put the lid back on and put a rubber band and it'll stay good for like a month. Oh my god, that's all I do. I just mix paint all the time because I just I don't know. I think I have to sand this down to make it smooth and then I have to put another round on. And then edge paint is kind of like curing glue. You got to let it cure. You got to let it do its thing. That's why I told you guys about the Mojo Sew thing. She has this thing that's like an octopus that has clampers and it holds the thing in place so that way it can dry without it dripping onto the thing. And I was like, oh, she just came up with something that I wanted the white. I got the black though, because I know the white wouldn't look white after the first time I use it. You should see my pants yesterday. There was so much edge paint. There was edge paint in my hair. I had some green going down one side of the cheek. Wasn't the best look. So that's why I told you about it because no one else has came up with this. I have an Autolite that has the wire clampers that they're like two things where you can hold it up like a pattern. So you can read the pattern and not touch it and hold it or whatever. So I use these two little clamps to hold my edge paint. And so when she came up with that, I was like, that's crazy because I've been doing this for a while. And I think that is a pretty awesome thing to have. And it's not that expensive. So I bought one. It'll come in 6 to 8 weeks. When it comes in, I'll like show it to you guys. But I think that I think Mojo Sews is doing a lot of things different from everybody else in the bag making. I haven't seen anyone else do colors like hers. And her metallic colors are I never have to really mix them. They're gorgeous and they go with I feel like Sonar's wallets and the metallic paints are like meant to be like they're like star cross lovers. um and then when she came out with the black and white and all the base colors, that's pretty cool. And she did on her base colors, she does have a mixing chart. I never follow a mixing chart because I don't know, I color outside the lines or I color Eeyore weird. I mean, obviously I don't color in the lines. So I say have fun with that. I'm going to try to do a video and showing you how I store mixed paint that I mix and how I come up with colors. And I'll pick some wacky colors like this green. Like, this faux cork is driving me nuts. I wiped it with a alcohol wipe and the color came off. So I'm not exactly happy right now about it. Not happy at all. It's really too soft. So I might actually do some cork like I originally wanted to instead of the faux cork. So yeah, have some fun, experiment. I will, as soon as that video, I'll show you tomorrow in the Captain's Log her paint. And then hopefully I can make a mixing color paint theme this week for Nova's Notion so you guys can see it, because I think it's a really important skill set and it's fun. It doesn't have to be stressful. It's actually kind of fun. It kind of brings you back to your childhood when you were like mixing paints and coloring outside of the walls. The reason why that was so much fun is that there was no rules. There was nobody telling you that what you're doing is wrong. That was a time in your life that you were able to truly hone into your artistic ability and people were enamored with everything that you do. So you get to tap into that love, joy again and have fun, and then find tools that work for you. There's one person I know that she uses these doll needles. I always have a doll needle on here, and she uses it. She picks it up, she lets it bead, and she just rubs it on, and her edge paint always looks good. You got to figure out what works for you, and it might not be a normal tool. There is like these sponge things that look like a Q-tip that you can get from Tandy Leather that work really well, and they're relatively inexpensive. Like you can get a pack of like 25 for like $5, I think. And I wash them and I reuse them. If they're lighter colors or they're darker colors, I don't even mess with it. It gets thrown away. But they kind of remind me of like paint brushes. There's so many things you can use. I've actually used Essie's nail polish brush. it has like this, it's like flat, but it has like this pointed end. I took an old one, dumped in the nail polish bottle, and used acetone and removed all the paint, nail polish paint off of it, and then use that as an edge coating tool as well. So I will like show all that in a video, because I think once you get started, you're gonna be like, yes, I love edge coating. Let's edge coat everything. Oh, that's not cork. It's like a faux cork. There's a couple of places that have cork that's not, it's called like uncork or faux cork, and it looks like cork. It really does look like it, but as soon as I use a lot of alcohol wipes, if I have like glue that came, and I used one alcohol wipe and the whole color came off. I was like, I can't. So now I'm gonna go use some real cork instead of this faux one, because I usually, when I, even my tester bags I sew to sell, I can't sell something to someone that if they put hand sanitizer on it, it wipes off, then holy hell, no. I know that sounds weird, but that is a good test to do. We use a lot of hand sanitizer. COVID, it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. So if you're using a faux leather or a faux cork or something that's not an organic material, drop a little bead of hand sanitizer on it, let it sit for a couple seconds and wipe it off. If it has a stain, you may not want to use that, because chances are if someone's buying the bag from you, they're going to have hand sanitizer in it. The alcohol I do that when I'm testing people's vinyls. I have certain groups ask me to come in and test vinyls and waterproof canvas. The first thing I do is put hand sanitizer on it. We do it. I drop hand sanitizer on my bag when I'm squeezing it in my kids' hands, like all the time. Good morning, Dalva. Yeah, do that. I didn't do it on this one, and now I'm mad because I edge coated it, and as soon as the alcohol came on it, the color just came off, and now I'm just gonna cut out new pieces and for this tester bag and let them dry while I'm sewing up the rest of the bag. A little upset about it. I might use something cool. Like, I think I have this really cool purple suede that I think I might use. I just need to take my time and cut it. That's always I have to get my box cutter. And the thing, every time I change out my box cutter blade, I think Kindle has like a secret heart attack. Like, he's like, no. No, Genova. So yeah, I'm about to cut out new pieces because I can't sell that bag. Because like, even if I put it together and it's phenomenal, if a person uses hand sanitizer and the color comes off, I would be mad. I would be so mad. So that's what I'm going to do today. Drink coffee, do this test, and if I'm done with this test at a good time, then I'm going to work on a Catalina that I'm trying to turn into either a sling bag, because Carrie, I cannot do her last name. Carrie's bag. She made one in Ora Rosa where her husband was wearing it and then she was wearing it. And I have an idea of using the crossbody, the Catalina, and taking the sling part from the Noodlehead Sandhill tote and put that in Sandhill sling, I'm sorry, and put that on there and merging these two patterns together to make the sling. So I've been wanting to do that for a while. So I'm either going to do that or I'm going to turn it into the Michael Kors one, because Michael Kors Jet Setter bag has a small bag like the Catalina, and it has like some really cool chains, and it's jet black with gold and metal teeth zipper, and I've been wanting to do that one too. I have these really beautiful metal zippers that I have not used, and I need to remove some zipper teeth from it and all that fun jazz. So that's my plan today. Throw away this faux cork, and probably never buy faux cork again. It's kind of made me mad yesterday. I like, Kendall was like, why are you smashing down there? And I showed him. He was like, well, at least you did it before you put the bag together. And I was like, yes, I get that. But still, yeah, I don't, yeah. So yeah, if you're going to sell your bag, before you sell it, and you're using something that's not an organic material, and sometimes I even do this on cork because if it's hand drawn, it still has dye and ink on it. Drop a little drop of hand sanitizer. Wait like 4 seconds and then wipe it off. If color transfers to the tissue, the napkin that you're using, question whether or not you want to sell this, because chances are there's a high percentage that someone's going to use hand sanitizer, and if a bee drops on it and they wipe it off and it transfers, that person can be very upset, and rightfully so, right? So I'm going to get this done, and probably I think I'm gonna work with this. I have a scrap of the purple suede that I'm going to use. All right, everyone. I hope everyone has a really good Monday. It's May 1st, start of a new month. May the 4th is coming up. I'm excited. And that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll talk to you guys all later. Happy sewing, okay? Bye.